Fátima is a civil parish in the municipality of Ourém, in the Portuguese Santarém District. The population in 2011 was 11,596, in an area of 71.84 square kilometers. The parish encompasses several villages and localities, of which Fátima, with a population of 7,756 residents, is the largest. Part of the urban agglomeration of Leiria, it is 187 kilometers south of Porto and 123 kilometers north of Lisbon. It has been permanently associated with the Marian apparitions that occurred in km².The in 1917 and which were later recognized by the Catholic Church. History. The name of the town and parish is a rendition of the Arabic given name Fátima, reportedly the name of a Moorish princess whom Goncalo Hermigues and his companions kidnapped. The night took Fátima to a small village of the recently created Kingdom of Portugal, in the Serra Hills. According to the Western narrative, Fátima fell in love with her kidnapper and decided to become herself a Christian to marry him. She was baptized and given a Christian name, Ourém. Arab sources, however, claim that Fátima, as most reconquest captives, was forced into Christianity, but there is no proof to support either scenarios of her conversion. The parish was founded in 1568, when it was annexed by the Collegiate of Ourém. The history of Fátima is associated with three local children, Lucia dos Santos and her cousins, Francisco and Jacinta Martu, who on the 13th of May 1917, while guarding the sheep in the km².The, witnessed an apparition of a lady dressed in white. km².The is now the Chapel of Apparitions. The lady, later referred to as Our Lady of the Rosary, indicated that she was sent by God with a message of prayer, repentance and consecrations. She visited the children on the 13th day of each month from May to October. The last apparition occurred on the 13th of October 1917. The 70,000 pilgrims in attendance witnessed the miracle of the sun. In addition, Our Lady of Fátima sent a message that consisted of three secrets. First, a vision of hell, where the souls of the sinful would travel without prayer. The second, prophesied the beginning of the Second World War, and ultimately, the mysterious third secret, which Dos Santos transcribed in 1944, and has been held by the Vatican since 1957. Dos Santos became a nun, and as Sister Lucia recounted three prior visits from an angel to her and her cousins. Between April and October in 1916, this angel invited them to pray and penance, visiting them twice in Loki de Cabeco and once by the well in the Dos Santos family's garden. Jacinta died in 1919 and Francisco in 1920 from the Spanish flu epidemic, and were later beatified on the 13th of May 2000 by Pope John Paul II. Lucia meanwhile remained a nun until she herself died in 2005. In order to mark the location of the apparitions, a wooden arch with a cross was initially constructed in km².The. The faithful began to travel in pilgrimage to the site. On the 6th of August 1918, with donations from the public, construction on a small chapel was begun, built from rock and limestone and covered in tile. With a width of 3.3 meters by 2.8 meters length, and 2.85 meters height, the chapel grew into a center for Marian devotion, receiving names such as Afe Acute, Fátima, Cidade da Paz, or Terra de Milagre e Paracos. The construction of the sanctuary brought local development to the region, which eventually allowed the town of Fátima to be elevated to the status of city on the 12th of July 1997. There was, historically, a movement in the parish that desired Fátima become its own municipality. The project, led by Julio Silva, engineer and ex-president of the Junta de Freguesia, was however vetoed on July 2003 by President of Portugal Jorge Sampaio, resulting in disappointment among residents. Geography. Fátima is located on the Estremanho limestone massif on the flanks of the Serra da Air, approximately 300 meters above sea level. The geology of the Serras da Air and Candeeiros gives rise to an arid landscape with a rocky ground interspersed with limestone outcroppings. There are various geological formations in the region including sinkholes, uvalas and polia, as well as karst grottos, caves with stalactites and stalagmites, in addition to lapis fields. The climate is characterized by heavy precipitation during the winter with approximately 1,400 mm annually in warm, dry summers. The trees in this area are primarily dominated by holly-oak, Portuguese oak, strawberry trees, buckthorn and olive trees, all of which are resistant to the precipitation extremes of the climate. There are also areas of savanna, strips of land bounded by walls of loose stone. Until 1917, Fátima was an unknown village involved in shepherding and agriculture. It became known worldwide because of the Marian apparitions seen by 3 young shepherds, occurring between the 13th of May and the 13th of October 1917. About 1 kilometer from Fátima is Aljustral, a small hamlet where the 3 shepherd children were born. To the west, near Aljustral, is Localities, a smaller agglomeration of rocky outcroppings where, in 1916, an angel appeared twice to the 3 children. The parish contains the following localities: Aljustral, Alverja, Amoreira, Baleiros, Casavela, Casalfarto, Charnica, Cova da Aya, Eira da Pedra, Fátima, Guisteira, Lomba da Igua, Maxera, Moimento, Moita Redonda, Moitas, Montelo, Pedernera, Poco Sodo, Ramila and Vale de Cavalos. Twin towns, sister cities. Fátima is twinned with. Economy. The economy of the town relies on religious tourism because Our Lady of Fátima attracts Christian pilgrimages. The locals of Fátima have a considerable number of shops and stalls devoted to the sale of religious articles and souvenirs. In addition, other economic activities in the region include marble sculpturing, sawmilling, carpentry, civil construction, commerce, services, architecture, civic system of Guyana, Sistine of Ramila, Sistine of Capuchos, civil parish building of Fátima, Fountain of Alverja, Fountain of Leiria, Fountain of Poco de Sudo, Fountain of Vale da Penha, Fountain, House of Casalfarto, Mill of Fátima, Mill of Fazaga, Mill of Guisteira, Mill of Ortiga, Mill of Ramila, olive oil press in Estrada das Matas, porch house with sundial, residence of Francisco and Jacinta Mart, residence of Lucia de Santos, threshing floor of Ramila, religious chapel of Casalforte, chapel of Lomba de Igua, chapel of Nossa Senhora da Conceição, church of Nossa Senhora de Livramento, Church of Santo Antonio, Church of the Santíssima Trindade, Basilica of the Santíssima Trinidad. On the far side of the sanctuary's esplanade is the Basilica, a neoclassical structure with a central tower 65 meters high, which was begun on the 13th of May 1928. It is flanked by colonnades linking it with the extensive convent and hospital buildings. Within the basilica are the tombs of the 3 witnesses to the apparitions, Jacinta and Francisco Marto and Lucia dos Santos. It was one of the largest churches in the world. Was built on the other side of the esplanade during the beginning of the 21st century. Sanctuary of Fátima, Sanctuary of Nossa Senhora da Ortiga, Parochial building of Fátima, Via Sacra of Santo Estevo. Culture. The Sanctuary of Fátima in Cova is the principal focus of visitors. Annually, pilgrims regularly fill the country roads leading to the shrine. Numbers can reach hundreds of thousands on the 13th of May and the 13th of October, the significant dates of the apparitions in Fátima. Sports. Fátima's major sports club is the Centro Desportivo de Fátima, currently in Portuguese football's second tier, the Liga Vitalis.